coming for you guys.
But Bygus had better be careful as he goes towards the triggery sky trigger because the floor is lava.
Give me time, is all I'm saying.
Ziara K heading on out to finish out his second lap, and oh my god, he's missed the main gate. What an error, but he's still going. He's still going.
I've been telling people for a while, like in drone racing, showing up is winning.
Oh yeah.
DP7 really pushing that pace because he's missed a gate and he's got time to make up for, and he chooses to do a single repair run very swift.
You don't want to pump me up. Yeah, I get pumped up. I race better generally, so.
Welcome guys, it's your boy Abdul from Karachi Quads coming at you with a chapter overview of an amazing global FPV race tournament in your favorite simulator, Liftoff. That's right, chapter 3 of the Dquad Fixation Tournament is over, the results are in, and we're gonna go over them today. If you want to take a part in chapter 4, it is live right now. It is chapter 4 of 12, series of 12 tournaments gonna happen over the course of the entire year, and the winner of chapter 12 gets a year-long sponsorship from Dquad, which means a bunch of frames, a bunch of spares, and a bunch of parts, along with the pride of living the dream, being a sponsored FPV pilot. And you can do it right here in your very own copy of Liftoff. All you got to do is click on over to multiplayer, click on over right here to Liftoff Pro League, which is an initiative to help pilots become pro-level pilots by providing global competition in an offline multiplayer environment against the top pilots around the world. Here we go, we just push the play button. You might have to make a user if it's your first time, totally worth it. Chapter 4 live right now, 13 days left to go as of this recording. Get your times in. We're taking a look at chapter number 3, won by none other than Finzi FPV. He took number 2 for the first 2 chapters, and this time he managed to pull it ahead by 0.3 of a second. We see G-Man in number 2, not something we see very often. Stick around for a fantastic interview by G-Man himself. Fusel in number 3 and FPV Fly in number 4, who we've also got a super fantastic interview with, along with some secret racer tips, some real secret racer tips on how to get ahead. So do stick around for that. The prizes for every chapter, regardless of who wins chapter 12, every chapter someone gets a prize, and you can't get the prize twice. So hey, you might finish number 4, number 5 and still walk away with 2 fixation frame kits, 4 spare arms, 1 top plate, 1 bottom plate, 1 main plate, 2 TPU flip fins, 2 TPU Foxier micro lollipop antenna mounts, 2 TPU camera mounts, and you can also choose the color of your mounts along with worldwide shipping. People have started receiving their prizes already. All you need to do to get yours is load up your Liftoff, get on in and get your race on. Let's jump on over to a track overview of what the track was like in chapter 3, then we'll jump on over to the interviews. Here we go. We're on board with Kabar for the track overview. Here we go, low and fast over the lava fields for a slightly twisting open air course into this right hand turn through a small arch and that cave that was the bane of a lot of pilots, and then the trench run leading on up into the triggery sky trigger. Got to get the height of that right and not fall down into the main lava pool, make the right turn and get back in on the track. You had to deliver this 3 times in a consistent and clean manner. Look at that pass through, that's super tight. The spiral up to line up perfectly for that trench run is not something that's easy to do at speed, and the sky trigger that he just hit over there, not easy to do at speed, and make sure that you get right every time. Now that we've got the tournament details refreshed and we've shown you the track overview so you know what the competition is about, let's talk to some pilots from all around the world. We've got one from all the way in Australia, one right in the middle from the UK, and one from America, and let's find out what their thoughts and feels were about how chapter 3 was for them. Let's hand on over to Past Abdul. Over to you, Past Abdul. Take it away, buddy. Thank you, Future Abdul. We are here with the super fantastic fresh onto 6S. Watch out for him in your rear view mirror because he's coming up on top of the leaderboards. Mr. Revu, how you doing, buddy?
Well, thanks for having me once again. I'm really excited to be here. So let's get right into this. This month has been hectic for me. I can't believe I even got to set one single time at the point, and even at that, I figured out that my throttle wasn't giving me full. I was getting about 80% throttle instead of the 100%, so I was even slower, and I only found that out about a week and a half ago. So I can set a better time if I wanted to, but I just don't have the time. I haven't even set a time in the newest chapter yet. Fly started me off. We started off early, so we did the practice lines, and he spectated me and made some adjustments, and they're really the only adjustments I have made to my lines and stuff like that. I got one time. That was actually my only time I set in the whole race. I don't think I adjusted that at all. And that was at the very beginning at that. And then even at that, it was at 80% throttle. If I had 100% throttle, who knows? I could have dwindled down the time even more. But by the time I actually had time to go in and set times, the race was over and we're on to the new chapter. Ooh, the small little part where you have to go through where there's a line of lava, and it's a tiny little cave. It's not the big cave you do a loop around. It's the one that you have to shoot straight after that, and there's a little peak. I always seem to hit, and you just have to go a little bit to the left of that, and that always seemed to annoy me so much. So I got really good at cutting it tight, and it was just, I think it was more the muscle memory than anything. It was actually trying to line up that second cave where it screwed me over.
What do you think it is that these pilots have that's different, that's giving them this extra 10 odd seconds above you in the leaderboard?
They have the time to practice. They have more skill above me. Obviously, I'm not anyway the best out there. I'm intermediate at most, and as well as I said, the 80% throttle wasn't helping. Figuring out that I had more power in the bank, I could have used that. And also, I'm not sure if I should have been flying the big 6S fat battery or the skinny battery, because I'm sure I was flying the skinny battery, but I don't know if that was actually enough to be able to punch full throttle at the end and make it out. So I'm not sure about that. I didn't look into that enough. If I had the time and if I had the hours to put in, I think I'd be up in the first place. So give me time is all I'm saying.
All the best for Chapter 4. We'll look forward to seeing your performance in the snow. Let's bounce it back.
Bye, Abdul.
Bye, Revu. Thanks for being with us. Let's bounce it back to future Abdul and the Song of Pitch and Throttle Studios. Back to you, buddy. Thank you, Past Abdul. Alright, that was the magical, mystical master Revu coming at you. Be sure to watch out for him in your rear view mirrors, because he's going to be overtaking a bunch of people in the next chapter if he can just find some time. Let's switch on over to Down Under with our man Chad FPV Fly Campbell and see what his feels were about Chapter 3. Back over to you, Past Abdul. Take it away. Thank you, future Abdul. I'm here with a super distinguished gentleman. Check him out, Chad FPV Fly. Number 1 in your hearts, number 4 on the Chapter 3 leaderboards. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you doing?
I'm having a grand old day. Did you make any changes for your regimen in Chapter 3? You went up by 5 spots, brother.
Well, there was a little secret trick. For the last 3 years of me learning to fly, I've used a 50 hertz television to fly through for 3 years of learning.
Ooh.
So I had some little gremlins get in my ear and tell me that I needed an actual monitor. So yeah, I went out and got a 165 hertz monitor. Fly got some extra speed. Us pilots, we don't see it directly. We'll go do something, we'll see it out of the corner of the eye, or we'll come in and we'll be too fast, and suddenly we'll see this line because we're too fast. Or even reverse, we'll be too slow, and we'll see this other line that you see out of the corner of your eye, and you go, hang on, that's where it is. That's what's going to give me an edge. Now, there is only one trigger for that race. Okay? Longer in the air equals to more damage on the drone. So therefore, you need to go as quick as physically possible to get out of the air as quick as physically possible to put down your best physically possible times. And then just practice and grind away, as we know. Number 1 rule, grind at it, get used to it, get it in the memory banks, get the muscle memory tight, and then just trust in yourself. I didn't achieve my practice time in race. Okay. All right, I was slower on the race than my practice time, so I was a little bit, I beat myself up a little bit for that race because I know I could take a few seconds off what I was doing. But like everything, it just wasn't me on the day, and I didn't get my lines on the day. I worked hard, I tried hard, put in my best runs, but it just didn't come together this time. Still, happy enough with fourth, not happy enough not beating the G-Man or Finzi. Coming for you guys. You try your best, and sometimes you might not catch that fastest pilot. He might have more skills than you, and he is quicker than you, so you know you're not going to catch him in speed or skills. But there's always another way. Get in his head. Tell some bullshit lies. Tell him that you're quitting. Tell him you're never going to fly again. You're done with competing. And then turn up and drop a time. Throw them all out. Hey, always play with your mind. May not win in the speed in the end, but I might win with screwing with your head. So that's the thing, yeah? You've got to take every advantage you can. Now, my father told me a long time ago, turn your weakness into your strength, right? My weakness is I'm not number one, and I'm not number two, and I'm not number three at the moment. So therefore, if I can't get him with my skills, get him with my mind. And it may not work extremely well, but even if it helps just a little bit, that gets me a little bit closer. Yeah, better keep pushing, mate, because I'm a coming and I'm a coming strong.
For those of you who've been following the fly on the Discord, on the Liftoff Discord, and on FPV Fly's YouTube channel of the same name, FPV Fly, you should be able to see it somewhere on the screen right now. Future Abdul, put his name on the screen somewhere. Thank you, please.
Future Abdul, it's called Rotor Rides, one word. I hope you got that, Future Abdul. Good work, brother. Nice work.
Thank you so much for taking the time out for us, Chad, and for taking the time out to put on a Liftoff sticker and some badges for us. You look absolutely gorgeous. I gotta say, ain't no other racer making it look that good, brother.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much for everything. So,
all the best for Chapter 4, brother. See you on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye. Liftoff number 1.
You heard it here. Liftoff number 1. Back to you, Future Abdul. Thank you, past Abdul. What a fantastic interview. What a fantastic vibe. And what a fantastic pilot Mr. Fly is. Let's see if those secret tips and tricks and that little mental game that he's playing manages to push him a little bit ahead in Chapter 4. But before we see Chapter 4 results, we have a chance to speak with number 2 of this chapter. G-Man himself comes down from the top of the leaderboards and drops some wisdom for us mortals. Let's pass it on down to past Abdul. Take it away, buddy. Thank you, Future Abdul. We are here with the champ, G-Man himself, but he's not in a position that we've practically ever seen him in before. Chapter 3 took second place, champ. How does it feel to be the champ but wind up in second place?
You know, I've had more second places in my career than first place, so it's not you know, it's like for the longest time I didn't crack the first place spot in a lot of like live race events. Going into that final second lap, I knew I was close, and I knew if I was safe in that invisible, that floating trigger, that kind of triggers me a little bit because it's hard to see in the cockpit. You know, it's like you don't know, you know, it's like you don't want to waste time and like blow through it, so you're just trying to just clip it. And so I was like, okay, I knew it wasn't like a perfect run, but I knew it was really fast, and I was like, no regrets, go for this trigger as fast as you can. And it was like, I think it was like my last attempt or my second to last attempt on the final night of the event, and I missed the gate, you know, I missed the trigger, and it, you know, coming down and not seeing the next trigger appear was one of those moments where it's just like, oh, congrats, Finzi. I think I went right on the Discord and said GG. I definitely think Finzi tightened everything up. Like, if you watch for the progress, I was watching his runs most every time, and I was seeing and I started to feel kind of confident because I didn't think he could beat my runs with that technique, but in the end, I actually think he was pretty tight, especially inside the cave. He takes that, like, the spin part, he takes that really tight, and like pretty high speed. And he doesn't have much of a delay after he gets up. Whereas in some of his earlier runs, he would come up and then kind of go,
Yeah.
Yep. I had the descending turn kind of pegged, right? Like I had a really good line there, and then Finley almost got it even better, right? Like he seemingly he did a very whip move. It seemed like the drone maybe wasn't quite as fast overall, but I think he was hit almost more direct and like tighter by doing it his way. And so I think I left something on the table, especially in that that little carousel up. I kind of I was checking up a little bit, I was flying it at like 80% throttle instead of 100, and mainly that was just to like not die, Finzi deserves his, he beat me fair and square here. So do I regret not putting more time in? Sure, because it would have been fun to win, but like it wasn't because I didn't put in enough time, like, yeah, I didn't beat him in my practice rounds even. So I've been telling people for a while, like in drone racing, showing up is winning, it's like, I have tremendous respect for everybody who tries to do this difficult sport. I spent multiple years where I knew there was no way to get there, and it's nothing new for me.
That feeling is okay. What you're telling young people and on all of the new pilots around the world is that feeling is okay. It's a part of your journey. It's what gets you to P1.
Yeah, and you want to still try and get near your PB in each of the heats. And then if they do make a mistake, you're one mistake behind them. And so you work your way to that level, and that's how I got onto the podium in all those races. Was I didn't get there by beating these guys who were qualifying higher than me. I got there by not screwing up.
We have FPV Fly, who's flying on a 30 hertz monitor, who now has a 160 hertz monitor.
Dude, you just blew my mind, man. The FPV Fly, like that, like he was getting those times on 30, because 60 hertz, I'd say, yeah, okay. I tell people 60 hertz to 120 is so much of a difference in drone sim stuff. It's a big deal. 30 to 120, I couldn't even fly on 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I should try it later. It makes a difference. You know what I mean? I'm on a 240 hertz monitor. I get perfect frame rates. I play on the lowest quality to make sure that I'm like maxing out my frame rates. And I have my radio is connected at 500 hertz to my computer. There's no every piece of delay has been taken out of my system. I have a 1080p monitor purely to make sure I can drive it at full frame. Because anybody been talking trash at all?
Yeah, Fly's opinion is very clearly, hey, you better watch out. I have a better monitor and I'm coming for you.
All right.
And
I like that. Yeah, they got to be careful though. Like anybody talks direct trash, they don't want to see what I'll bring. not in terms of trash, but like
in terms of performance.
You don't want to pump me up. Yeah, I get pumped up. I race better generally. So,
well, we got all of their interviews lined up. If you can take a moment and watch on that, we would love to see pumped up G-Man in action. Oh, would that be a great sight?
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Thank you, G-Man. Back to you, future Abdul, in the Song of Pitch and Throttle studio. Take it away, buddy. And there we go. That was the Chapter 3 journey for the Dquad Fixation Tournament. There are prizes, there is pride, and there is progress waiting for you in the Liftoff Pro League. Click your Liftoff on, get your radio on, and take part in Chapter 4 for super fun times, super progress, and a chance to prove yourself against pilots from around the world, all the while winning fantastic prizes from a globally leading frame manufacturer. Thank you, Dquad, for sponsoring this tournament and making it possible for all of us to compete with each other around the world. Have a fantastic couple of weeks. See you guys in Chapter 4. Abdul out. Those were the details of the tournament. That was the track overview. Now that you're all caught up, let's... And there we go. That was... Because the floor is lava. I didn't like that. I'm going to do that again. I think that one's okay. TP7 already missed a gate. He's got time to make up for, but hey, he chooses to... I've stuttered. I stuttered. I should do that again. Well, I'm going to try that again because I didn't like that. Yeah, I see there. I was afraid that I failed, and I should have just kept going. Should have just kept going. It was fine. It was fine. In a very respectable. I think that was good. And I think that's about all the Abdul time that we have. Welcome, boys. It's your.